Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. PM Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi hold bilateral talks, discusses range of issues to enhance comprehensive strategic partnership. India's External Affairs Minister meets leaders from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Brazil and Russia on the sidelines of GCC meeting, discusses ways to strengthen relationship. Thousands gather in Islamabad in support of former Prime Minister Imran Khan, demand his immediate release. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held talks with the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in New Delhi. The two leaders discussed the multifaceted India-UAE relations and avenues to broaden the comprehensive strategic partnership to new and emerging areas. This is Sheikh Khalid bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan's first visit to India as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. On Tuesday, the Crown Prince will visit Mumbai to participate in a business forum in which business leaders from both countries will participate. India and UAE share historically close and friendly ties. In recent years, the comprehensive strategic partnership between India and UAE has deepened in a wide range of areas, including political, trade, investment, connectivity, energy, technology, education, and culture. All right, and DD India correspondent Amrit Pal Singh is joining us live to give us more details on this. Hello, Amrit. A very good evening to you. We just told our viewers that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi met and held bilateral talks. They discussed various issues from technology, to many other things. Tell us what's the latest update that you're getting for us?
Okay, the bilateral meetings that started in the morning. They lasted for about a couple of hours. First, there was a one-on-one meeting between Prime Minister Modi and the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Then he's carrying a delegation of ministers along with him. So ministers from both sides held delegation level talks. The areas that you've mentioned were covered in the talks. Stock taking was taken of the relationship, the political relationship, the trade relationship, the investment potential was reviewed in particular sectors like energy, technology, bilateral trade in areas of infrastructure, investments in real estate. The whole gamut of relationship was reviewed. It was also the financial, the trade, how to take the trade to the next level to $100 billion by 2030, the target that the two countries have set for themselves was reviewed, and so the talks centered around this. After that, later in the afternoon, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi went to Rajghat to pay homage to the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, where he planted a sapling. In fact, his grandfather, the Zayed Al Nahyan, had in 1992 planted a sapling there itself. Then his father, when he came here, is the current president of the United Arab Emirates and is the king of Abu Dhabi, or the Sultan of Abu Dhabi, had planted a sapling. So today the Crown Prince planted a sapling at Rajghat.
Amazing.
So it was a symbolic gesture of the strong relationship between the two countries that has existed.
Definitely, Amrit. Definitely, Amrit. This is something viewers something new, in fact, the viewers got to know. Amrit, you've just mentioned about the relationship between India and the UAE. You know, from past few years, Amrit, if I talk about 6 to 7 years, the relationship between the two nations strengthened like anything, you know, many-fold. So what actually is the core reason behind it? And if you could just explain us a bit about the relations between the two countries, how they have strengthened over the years.
The core reason is they've got money and we are a great investment destination given the political stability, the continuity in policies, the opening up of the economy, the reform process which has been going on, and the growth of the economy in the developing countries. So India, given its scale, is a lucrative investment destination for any country that wishes to partner. Also, from a policy point of view, say make in India, make for the world, or the huge talent pool that exists in India. They have the technology, they have the money to invest in technology, you have the manpower. So it's a win-win situation for both countries, for companies from both countries to mutually leverage their strengths and work towards a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's why you saw the relationship widen. Also, the political push the relationship got. When Prime Minister Modi visited UAE in 2015 as the Prime Minister of India, he was the he was the Prime Minister. He was the first Prime Minister in 34 years to visit UAE. So there were, and then you saw successive visits by Prime Minister Modi to UAE. So India got UAE. Invited UAE into at the G20, which it hosted, was instrumental in getting UAE to be part of the BRICS when the BRICS was expanded at Johannesburg. So clearly there was a political push to strengthen and widen the relationships. That.
All right, you've said it right, Amrit. It's a win-win situation, but wonderful reporting. Our viewers got to know so many things today through you. Thank you so much for your analysis, Amrit. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia for the Gulf Cooperation Council meeting. Dr. Jaishankar met Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on the sidelines of the GCC meeting. Dr. Jaishankar had a very useful conversation with Lavrov. On the sidelines of the GCC meeting, the EAM met the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani. Both the leaders discussed taking India-Qatari bilateral ties forward. The EAM appreciated his insights and assessments on regional developments. Dr. Jaishankar also met Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, in Riyadh. Both the leaders took stock of the progress in India-Saudi Arabia bilateral relationship and shared perspectives on global and regional issues. The EAM looked forward to welcoming him in India. Dr. Jaishankar met Kuwaiti Foreign Minister Abdullah Ali Al Yahya. He recalled his productive meeting recently in Kuwait. Both the leaders discussed taking forward India-Kuwait bilateral ties through an early meeting of the Joint Commission. India's EAM also met Foreign Minister of Bahrain, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani. The EAM appreciated his positive evaluation of a relationship and contribution of the Indian community in Bahrain. Both the leaders agreed on an early meeting of the Joint Commission. Dr. Jaishankar also had a warm meeting with the Foreign Minister of Oman. Both the leaders focused on further strengthening of our strategic partnership. Dr. Jaishankar met Foreign Minister of Brazil, Mauro Vieira, on the sidelines of the Gulf Cooperation Council ministerial meetings. Both the leaders discussed G20, BRICS and the Ukraine conflict. Third India-US Defence Acceleration Ecosystem, or the Indus-X Summit, will begin in California on Monday. Ahead of the summit, India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has stressed that the Indian and American startups and innovators are important to our national security. In a social media post on X, Rajnath Singh said, and I quote, "The India-US Defence Acceleration Ecosystem Indus-X Summit gives technology leaders in India and the United States a vibrant platform to foster partnerships and collaborations in defence sector, wishing the event a grand success." The two-day summit has advanced the commitment to build the innovation bridge under the initiative on critical and emerging technology. And to provide an impetus to upskilling and capability building of its personnel, the Indian Army and Indian Air Force signed an MOU with the Gati Shakti University. The Defence and Railway Ministers of India were present during the signing of this Memorandum of Understanding at the Defence Headquarters in Delhi on Monday. Gati Shakti is first of its kind university aiming to fulfill the mandate of the National Development Plans across railways, shipping and highways. The idea is to prepare students of this university for the best of global leaders in the field of logistics. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said this agreement would strengthen India's military operations and national security.
जब हम रक्षा क्षेत्र में आत्मनिर्भर भारत की बात करते हैं तो इस आत्मनिर्भरता से हमारा आशय यह होता है कि हमारी सेनाओं की जो ज़रूरतें हैं उनकी पूर्ति हमारे खुद के साधनों से हो। जैसे यदि हम लॉजिस्टिक्स के लिए एक्सपर्टीज की ज़रूरत है तो उसकी ट्रेनिंग हमें हमारे अपने गति शक्ति विश्वविद्यालय से ही मिले। यदि हमें इक्विपमेंट चाहिए तो वह भी हमें भारत की इंडस्ट्री द्वारा ही निर्मित किए हुए मिले। हमारा स्पष्ट मानना है कि एक सशक्त भारत की नींव आत्मनिर्भर होकर ही रखी जा सकती है और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि यह समझौता इस दिशा में अपनी बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका का निर्वाह करेगा।
Gati Shakti University is based in the Indian state of Gujarat in Vadodara. Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said the university offers multidisciplinary and specialized programs for skilling in multi-modal transportation.
When he was Chief Minister in Gujarat, he had set up the Petro University, he had set up the Forensic University, he had set up many domain-specific universities. So same concept we are now trying to do in logistics sector. So this will cover aeronautics, this will cover railway, this will cover warehousing, ground logistics and marine sectors to begin with, and then we will focus on getting into the deeper things like submarines and all.
The 20th edition of the India-USA Joint Military Exercise Yudh Abhyas 2024 commenced on Monday and will continue until the 22nd of this month at the Foreign Training Node in Mahajan Field Firing Ranges, Rajasthan. This edition marks a significant increase in the scope and complexity of joint exercise in terms of troop strength and equipment. The aim of the joint exercise is to enhance the joint military capability of both sides for undertaking counter-terrorism operations. The exercise will focus on operations in a semi-desert environment. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the 54th GST Council meeting in New Delhi. The last Goods and Services Tax Council meeting was held in June this year, in which the Council had recommended a uniform rate of 12% GST on all steel, iron and aluminium milk cans. The Council had also recommended that services provided by the Indian Railways to the common man, including the sale of platform tickets, facility of retiring rooms and waiting rooms, and battery-operated car services will not attract any GST. It's poll season once again in India. Political activities are intensifying across Jammu and Kashmir, with campaigns and rallies getting underway. The polls in the Union Territory are set to commence in the third week of September. The elections are being held in 3 phases, with polling dates scheduled for September 18, 25th and 1st of October. The counting of votes will take place on October 8. Monday is the last date for withdrawal of candidature for polls across 26 assembly constituencies in the second phase. These elections mark the first polls to be held in the Union Territory following the abrogation of Article 370. In their manifesto, BJP has declared that Article 370 is now a thing of the past, while the National Conference and People's Democratic Party have emphasized the restoration of Article 370. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. US presidential hopeful Kamala Harris says she is ready to face her opponent Donald Trump in the election debate. Venezuelan opposition presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez reaches Spain. In Nigeria, at least 48 people killed in a fuel tanker truck explosion. Stay with us to know more.
complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. US presidential hopeful Kamala Harris said that she is ready to face her opponent, Donald Trump, in the election debate that will take place on Tuesday.
Trump wants to jail election workers, Madam Vice President. Do you have a reaction?
Madam Vice President, how will you handle it on the debate stage if Trump decides to launch a personal attack?
Are you ready, Madam Vice President?
Ready.
Meanwhile, former US President and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump continued his attack on Kamala Harris and accused her to be the worst vice president in the history of the United States. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will encounter each other in their first much-awaited debate on Tuesday. Both are preparing for the mega event in the runoff to the election that will take place on November 5. Here is a report by Akhilesh Suman on how the debate will take place.
With what Donald Trump has been
A massive television audience is expected to tune in Tuesday to watch Democrat Kamala Harris, the current US Vice President, go toe-to-toe with Republican former President Donald Trump. Both are calling it the most important election of modern times in the US. In his own style, Trump took a jibe at Kamala Harris a day earlier in North Carolina.
She's right now practicing. Do you know that? She's in Pennsylvania, and she's practicing for the debate. She's locked herself in a room. She's got a lot to learn. She's locked herself in a room, and they have one problem. You know what the problem is? They have MAGA people outside screaming, "We love Trump, we love Trump, we love Trump," and they can't focus. Can you believe it?
The debate, awaited by audience not only in the US but keenly anticipated by people from all over the world, will be hosted by US broadcaster ABC News. The 90 minutes debate will take place at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia at 9 p.m. local time and will be aired live with 2 commercial breaks. The event will be moderated by 2 ABC anchors, but there will be no audience in the room. No questions or topics would be shared in advance with any of the candidates, and mic of one candidate will be muted when the other is speaking. Candidates will not offer any opening statements, but they will be allotted 2 minutes to answer each question, with 2 minutes granted to their opponent for a rebuttal. However, there will be an additional minute for a follow-up, clarification or response against the rebuttal. No pre-written notes will be allowed, but the candidates will be given a pen and a paper to note down and also be given a bottle of water. The candidates will stand behind podiums through the entire length of the debate, and no contacts will be allowed at any point of time, even during the commercial breaks. The debate gets interesting as rating for Trump has increased this week at 48%, surpassing Harris's 47%, according to a New York Times poll. According to AFP, many American voters are looking forward to discussions on policy and values, but they also will be closely watching the candidates' style, composure, and presidential bearing. However, some observers are portraying the debate as one between Kamala the cop versus Gish Galloper Trump. They remember Kamala Harris as a prosecutor in the past and Trump as a convicted felon. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
From Gerald Ford's catastrophic Soviet gaffe to Ronald Reagan's witty remark about his age and Joe Biden's infamous implosion, US presidential debates have featured jaw-dropping moments. Here's a report mentioning some of the most memorable in modern US politics.
Iconic gaffes, scandals and chaotic moments. This all is not new during US presidential debates. Sweaty Nixon versus confident Kennedy. On September 26, 1960, a first televised debate of its kind, Republican Richard Nixon looked poised to win the election, but the debate did not go well for him. Nixon refused to wear makeup and appeared pale and sweaty, while young Massachusetts Senator John F. Kennedy looked tanned and relaxed. While Nixon addressed the moderator, Kennedy looked at the camera, speaking directly to his voters. Kennedy went on to defeat Nixon at the polls. Ford versus Carter. In the year 1976, the first debate between Republican President Gerald Ford and Democratic challenger Jimmy Carter was marked by a 27-minute loss of audio. The second debate didn't go well for Ford either, when he made a gaffe on Cold War that arguably cost him the presidency. Reagan versus Mondale. Republican President Ronald Reagan was 73 when he ran for the second term against 56-year-old Walter Mondale, but he turned his age into his strength with a witty answer that went down in history. Bush versus Clinton versus Perot. The second presidential debate in the 1992 race pitted incumbent President George Bush against both his future successor Bill Clinton and Ross Perot, an independent candidate. Bush was caught on camera looking at his watch while Clinton talked to an audience member during a town hall debate. Years later, Bush admitted he hated debates. Obama versus Romney. In the year 2012, a debate against President Barack Obama, Republican challenger Mitt Romney lamented that the U.S. Navy had fewer ships presently than it did in 1916. Obama's reply stunned the opponent and the comments went viral. Trump versus Clinton. The second debate of the 2016 U.S. presidential election pitting Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump was particularly vicious, coming shortly after the release of a video in which Trump was heard boasting that his fame allowed him to grope women. The Republican billionaire went after his opponent's husband, former President Bill Clinton, accusing him of being so abusive to women. Trump versus Biden. The first debate of the 2020 presidential election featuring Trump and Democrat Joe Biden devolved into shouting and insults, with Trump constantly interrupting him. Bureau Report, DD India.
Venezuelan opposition presidential candidate Edmundo Gonzalez reached Spain after being granted asylum in the country. Spain's foreign ministry said in a statement, Gonzalez arrived at the Torre de Ardoz military base with his wife. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said Gonzalez left Spain because his life was in danger. Gonzalez's exit comes a week after Venezuelan authorities issued an arrest warrant for him, accusing him of conspiracy and other crimes. President Nicolas Maduro dismissed all such assertions and said there was a right-wing plot to sabotage his government. Thousands of supporters of Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan gathered in Islamabad demanding the release of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party organized the rally, marking its first show of strength since the disputed elections in February. Imran Khan has been behind bars for more than a year on what his party calls the politically motivated charges. Khan's party had initially planned the protest in July. However, it was postponed when the district administration denied permission. The local administration pushed the event to September 8. Khan, who lost power in a parliamentary vote of no confidence after falling out with the generals, has said the army has been backing what he calls the politically motivated cases against him, which the military has denied. In Nigeria, at least 48 people were killed in a fuel tanker truck explosion on Sunday following a collision with another truck in north-central Nigeria. The truck was carrying travelers and cattle, while several other vehicles were also caught up in the accident. Nigeria's state-owned firm NNPC Limited last week hiked the price of gasoline by at least 39%, the second major increase in more than a year, but shortages have continued, forcing motorists to queue for hours in the country's major cities and towns. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, and also you can download the app by scanning the code QR code on the screen. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.